Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I had to switch my phone over to a different device, my streaming service, because don't you know I was talking about Huawei and that ZTE would no longer be able to sell devices. And the one I have been using for StreamYard was a ZTE. And as you, many of you may have seen last night, it conked out on me right toward the end of the live stream. I had to try to reset it and everything like that. So tonight it just isn't cooperating with me. The screen keeps going black, keeps flashing on and off, and so I had to switch over to this. Anyway, I'm hoping that it broadcasts good. I think it's a little weaker as far as signal strength. I could be wrong, but let me know if y'all hear me good with the 5x5, and I will go over some issues that I'm going to talk about. Fringe benefits case that's before the Supreme Court Donald Trump has been truthing about, and Baldy locks. Baldy Locks has been fired. If you all know who that is, if you don't, I'll get to it. And the Fringe benefits case that special master case, Fringe benefits case, and the Biden cars catching on fire. I've seen some video on that, and I'm sure you all have too. And good, I see a lot of 5x5s. That's good. So I'll stay right where I'm at and keep it rolling. But anyway, there's so many things in the headlines about FTX found to have given a group associated with Mitch McConnell, a super PAC or a PAC associated with Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy. Well, McConnell was $1 million. I don't know how much McCarthy was, but these little influence operations, they like to spread their money everywhere. I heard that they were giving money to the Democrats and the rhinos. So that's going to come out hot and heavy in the future. So let me see what's going on in chat. So, y'all had a good show. Oh, you had a good show, Nikki? Well, that's good to hear, honey. But anyway, now with the special master, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals has said that Judge Eileen Cannon has overstepped her bounds and should not have appointed a special master for Donald Trump. And I heard from my plumber intel that CNN or one of those rogue news agencies was saying, well, when people get charged by the FBI, they all don't get special masters. Well, as we all know, that a former president is not just anybody getting messed with by the FBI. But this will go to the Supreme Court. And as Donald Trump has to do with all his cases. And I look for quite a different determination to come out of that. And one thing I have not heard, I'm not saying it hadn't been brought up, but one thing I haven't heard, that if they're talking about state secrets, if they're talking about foreign policy, the FBI is a domestic law enforcement organization. They're not supposed to be involved in foreign affairs, and the CIA is not supposed to be involved in domestic affairs. So there's a problem there that's got to be reconciled as to the scope of responsibility for these agencies, in particular the FBI. Should they be privy to state secrets when they are not involved in foreign law enforcement or the military? And I'm confident that Trump will come out on top with that. So, and some people might be getting in trouble. Oh, we know they're already in trouble. We just got to wait for when they feel it's good enough to make a move. So anyway, that's out of the way, but you'll hear people jumping up and down. Ha ha! Trump didn't get a special master. Well, we'll see about that, and we'll see about the characters that broke into his house also. But we heard about this person that's been jokingly referred to as Baldy Locks, the interesting individual that is in charge of Department of Energy, nuclear waste, and things of that nature, that was in France posing with Rachel Levine as the first transgender people to be hired by the White House or whatever it was. Well, we all heard the luggage story where this person, I don't know proper words that might offend people, she, him, shim, sure, it, she, well, never mind. But anyway, so this person made off with a luggage that didn't belong to them, and they went out of their way to go down the baggage area and take the thing, and they didn't even have a ticket to be down there. They had no reason. They had no carry-on luggage for themselves, but they made it down, I guess, downstairs to the claim area and snatched it and left. Well, the story is that they were given a chance and were given instructions, because there was another person involved, on how to return it. Return bag. And this person said, well, I was tired, I made a mistake, and blah, blah, blah. And they said, well, here's how you do it. Here's, bring it back, you do this, you do that. You know, people make mistakes all the time in airports, which is true. Well, they still decided not to return it. And the reports are that this person was returning from Europe well after they were told to return the luggage. They were returning from Europe, and airport security said, hey, isn't that bag we told you to bring back? I don't know what it was, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Oh, I forgot. I'm tired. So, well, that's what it got into. Where's the clothes that were in there? There weren't any clothes in there. Oh, yes, there were. I'm sorry, but they were my clothes. Oh, they weren't my clothes. I left them in the hotel I was in. So it all got very convoluted, lies and back and forth. So they went ahead and charged this person with a felony. After they were given, I'm sure, preferential treatment, but it dawned on me when they got nabbed, where they said they were coming back from Europe. I bet you it was when they were coming back from France, and this person was posing with Rachel Levine in the French foreign minister's ballroom or wherever they were. That is the trip it was returning from, when they said, hey, we told you a couple weeks ago, bring that bag back. So they put them on administrative leave with pay, which is infuriating enough. And then the news got out, and today the news comes out they're fired. Day before yesterday, the story comes out about the charges. Today, no pay with leave, you're fired. So that's a little victory. But it made me think about something. Remember, I was talking, and for new people in the chats, new subscribers, you may not have heard it, I was letting people know that they made an IRS change that if you sell on eBay or any site anything through the course of the year, a total amount, including your shipping charges, including taxes, including the commission you pay to these sites like eBay, $600 or more, it gets reported to the IRS, even if it's your personal property. Also, they made a change, which a lot of people were joking about last year, if you remember. If you steal something, you owe taxes on it. Remember that? Theoretically, if you rob a bank for $100,000, you owe the federal government $30,000. I'm not kidding you. That is in the code for the IRS. Profits from illegal activity, theft, drug dealing, anything like that, you get taxed on it. So I wonder if this person was, figuring, well, I won't return the bag. I'll just pay my taxes on it. So we'll see. The other thing this ties into is where we know for quite some time that a chief financial officer for one of Trump's companies was charged, I believe, over a year ago with not paying taxes on fringe benefits. And apparently it's been going back and forth whether or not the charges are valid, whether or not the case should go to trial. And I read a truth from Mr. T that it was going forward to trial. This is apparently an older gentleman, an elderly man who's been working with the Trump organization for years. They've been scouring Trump family members, Trump associates, Trump employees, CEOs, and people on the board of different companies owned by Trump, tried to find anything they could smear somebody with tied to the name Trump. Okay, so they get this old fella, and they say that he did not pay taxes on his use of a company car, and he did not pay taxes on a fringe benefit where his grandchildren's education was paid for by the Trump organization as a fringe benefit. And as Mr. T said, there's never been a case like this ever brought, that he relied on licensed CPAs, licensed accountants, and for them to criminally charge him is unheard of. And that gets me to think, what about these not just stolen bags? What about these Bolshevik bureaucrats that get a car to ride around in? What about these woke Twitter people that were complaining that their Twitter credit cards were cut off? One girl was going to treat her friends to a farewell party. They knew they were being fired or had already been fired, went to a bar, got drunk, carried on, ate food, and then went to use a company card, and it was declined. And she was complaining. Well, wait a minute. Thousands of you woke characters, thousands of you bureaucrats that get company credit cards. Do you pay taxes on that? Drinks and dinner for your friends? For how many years? And how about you bureaucrats that have got a card tied into the county or town that you work for, or state that you work for? You pay taxes on the food you ate that was on our dime? Well, do you think I'm crazy? I'll tell you a story. True story. McDonald's, Burger King, a lot of these restaurants have owner-operators. privately owned, they pay a fee to the franchise and they can open a McDonald's if they pass certain standards, or a Burger King or what have you. Well, there was one person in a certain area that every summer he had a special. He and his wife owned it together, but they would do a 2 week time where they would put out coupons for a free sundae. They usually sell them for $1. They used to. I don't know now. You could get a hot fudge sundae for $1, caramel sundae for $1, strawberry sundae for $1. Well, they put out coupons where you get a celebration of summer. You come in and get a free sundae. And there's in another town, and a couple 100 miles away, there's a Wendy's that says, from this date to this date, you get a free Frosty with every purchase if you want one, chocolate or vanilla, because it's summertime. Hooray. And they did for a week or two. Well, don't you know, in this one community, I went to get my sundae. And they said, that'll be 5 cents. I said, what? 5 cents. I know. The young girl said, I know. We couldn't believe it ourselves. I said, what do you mean? The local treasurer for that part of the county, for that county in that state, claimed that anybody giving things away had to collect the tax on the value of the item. I didn't see that anywhere else in any other town, any other state, any other city, except that one. One Bolshevik bureaucrat couldn't even let customers have a complimentary dollar sundae without them coming around demanding that they charge that flippin' nickel. All right? So, yeah, what I'm saying is true. How about you Twitter creepos, okay, that have been making our lives miserable, ruining people's income, blocking people, disrupting their ability to speak freely? How about those company cards, okay? How about those when you went in there and got a glass of wine and sat around all day eating popcorn for free? You pay taxes on that? Well, guess what? According to Letitia James or whoever is prosecuting this man, you can go to jail for that. And let's go back and add it all up. Okay? So that's what's happening with this unfortunate individual who was a CEO for Trump for 20 some years. He didn't pay. Who pays taxes on a company car they're using? That's basically what they're saying. So let's take that to everybody, including the government bureaucrats. That would be nice. Let me see what's going on. Hi, Lucy. How you doing? Hi, Donna. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Aaron. I'm trying to. Hey, Bubba, I see you made it. Alarm one. Ha ha ha. Outlandish. How you doing? Ha ha. Let's see. So I hope that you all agree with me on this travesty and this witch hunt that they're doing. And it ties into where I was talking about last night, prosecutors, because you think about it. They removed the president, prosecutors did, Richard Milhouse Nixon. And to this day, I'll have some liberal friends. I'll just say, can you tell me, other than the claims of the erasing the tapes or, post action, post this break-in, what did Nixon do? He didn't break in. He didn't approve it. He didn't even know about it. What's the crime he committed? Well, he tried to erase the tapes. Well, that's because they were after him. And he turned the tapes over to Judge Sirica. It was prosecutors pursuing an elected official. And I said, what happened to Governor Rick Perry? He did not threaten to prosecute that person. He did not threaten to fire that person. He said, you need to resign because you're not following orders and you're not getting any money until you do. And they arrested a sitting governor. So how come it can go that way with Perry? But look what they did to Nixon, okay? So the prosecutors, I guess, are a extra constitutional force that everybody's afraid of. Well, not anymore. That's going to break loose. And I think we're at the level now where we've got all these little operatives being taken care of. Now we're doing the list of prosecutors and moving into the area of judges that need to be addressed, need to be evaluated, and if necessary, removed for malfeasance or for being outright crooked. Like the judge that said Trump needs to go to jail because he's a bad person. Judges like that. Let me get a drink of my coffee. Okay. That's good. So, I'll get a little dry throat there. Current administration and their goons won't be able to get Trump on anything. They've been trying to set him up and it has not worked. That is right. But they keep trying. But I tell you what they're doing. I'm thinking, like Trump said, I'll gladly take these slings and arrows for you. I think the slings and arrows part is so they can see who's firing the slings and arrows. That's what we want. I think this is an operation to separate the wheat from the chaff when we start our new government. Our fledgling republic. Let's see. Checking the chats. Third channel. Ha ha. I might have to do a third channel. I don't know. My main channel, I did that one video, the last one. I'm trying to get people to go watch it. It's called, well, the title is, in their own words, Sudden Exposure, talking about the they, as I said last night, who are they? They are the ones that worship Baal in the plural, Baals. There's more than one. I'll go over that in a little bit. But anyway, so here we got these people attacking this guy with fringe benefits. And I'll tell you, there's nobody gets more fringe benefits than a daggone government worker. Okay? And so if they're going to play that game, boy, have we got a lot of money to collect. Or people have been hired by these so-called tech companies like Twitter, Meta, Apple, that were set up to be run by people who will be a puppet for foreign powers. But these companies were started using money from DA, and the other letters are RPA, government funded. They were put into private hands as part of a way to undermine the sovereignty of this country and to inject Marxist, communist philosophy into our government and our schools. Anyway, I didn't mean to go off on that, but I did. So, I'm trying to see here what we can, the thing with Biden's Secret Service with those rental cars. I'm sure that everybody's heard about all different stories like, well, they were trying to assassinate him. How am I doing? Can you all hear me? My screen's not responding. Uh-oh. Okay, here it goes. My screen got frozen for some reason, folks. Okay. Okay, it's rolling now. I see you in the chats. Let's see what I missed. The screen got frozen way back on alarm one's following. Okay, thank you. Following my RUM and then BLE. Let's get ready to. Okay, let's see. Let me check up with the chat. Say the screen wouldn't move, so I couldn't see the chats go by. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Poppy Two Bears. When they turn their fire on us, we can zero in on them. Freedom, hello. How are you doing, honey? Okay. Freedom, I see you were putting some news updates on some other channels. There's so much happening. It's so hard to keep up with it. But the Biden situation with the cars. How many of you all have heard direct energy weapon? How many of you all heard that it was an assassination attempt? How many of you heard that the black hats were trying to take out Joe? That's very unusual for 6 cars all to burn up. Well, now, Lori, let's see. Aren't they supposed to be bulletproof cars? Do rental companies rent that sort of thing? Doesn't the president take vehicles everywhere with him? Well, from what I understand, he had his usual, what do they call that, caravan or whatever with the beast. But when they were going to vacation, the entourage, the Secret Service entourage that would be guarding the buildings while they're on vacation, I think they were in Nantucket. They were in rental cars, but not Biden. That is a good point. That's what I wanted to point out, that they're not going to put Biden in a rental car. That was just the ancillary Secret Service guys and gals that have got to patrol the property wherever they're going to end up for their vacation. They went to some $30 million mansion somewhere. And so, they got rental cars. And if you look at the video that shows the aftermath, what I saw, what I'll tell you, and you can go back and look at it, check out my eyes, see if I'm seeing things properly. There was a white SUV that was, the front end was totally engulfed, burn up, just the front end underneath the hood compartment. The hood was gone. The bumpers are all plastic. The lights are plastic. There's so much plastic on those daggone cars. And the cars on either side, whichever side of the car was closest to that white SUV in the center, they're only burned halfway from where they were close to the SUV. The other sides on the other side that weren't near the SUV did not get burned. And the car directly in front of that white car, that white SUV, got the front end, the bumper and the front end of the car burned up. So the fire started in that white SUV, in the engine compartment, and the cars that were near it got engulfed. But you can clearly see it was because They caught fire from the car that initially caught on fire. So it wasn't where all the cars got it. Wasn't as unusual as people would think from the reports. But if you look at the video, you'll see it. You'll see very clearly exactly what I just described. So, yeah, when you're Secret Service, hey, I wonder if those Secret Service guys and gals paid taxes on the value of those rental cars, because they didn't pay for those rental cars. We'll have to find that out. Anyway, there's so many ways for different people to get in trouble. Yeah, it was Nantucket where we went. The central vehicle was white, and the surrounding cars, the damage was whatever part of the other vehicles that were damaged were on the side that was close to the white car or in front of the white car, on the sides and front. So, let me see here. Let me check chats. Yeah, the Poppy Two Bears, GM vehicle had a recall for fire issues, but that vehicle hadn't. Wait a second. Hadn't had the recall work done. Yeah, let me tell you, electrical fires can be very nasty and very fast and very hot. I remember when we used to wire up stereos. I had a 1946 Jeep, and I put me a tape player, an 8-track tape player in that 46 Jeep, and I had speakers in the back, and I must have stepped on a wire, cut a wire by accident. Somehow I'm going down the road, and top down CJ2A Jeep, and I had a little rear view mirror, about half the size of the rear view mirrors we use now. I looked in that thing and I had a cloud of smoke trailing behind me. I said, "What?" And I pulled over, and my speaker wires had caught fire and burned up my carpet. Oh my goodness. So it's quick, it's hot, it's pretty nasty. I love that Jeep. Had a 325 Chevrolet engine, and believe it. Yeah, it did. Somebody put a 325 Chevrolet motor in a 1946 CJ2A. And I bought it for $500, had it for 10 years, and sold it for $500. So it didn't owe me nothing. You had a 71 Nova with a working 8-track. Yeah, I had a 76 Airstream trailer. It had a entertainment center with a 8-track tape player, and I had all tapes and everything for it. I had a number of vehicles with 8-track tape players. Hi, Patriot Starfighter. So, let me see what else we're talking about. We talked about Baldy. We talked about the Special Master. We talked about Biden's cars burning up. Mitch McConnell, I mentioned his money. He got $1 million from that, the PAC, the super PAC, or regular PAC that he is affiliated with. Got $1 million, and a lot of people are going to get called out on that one. So I was trying to think of what you had mentioned in the news. Where's Freedom Hello at? You mentioned something that happened in the news, but I wanted to talk about it. I should have wrote that down. But 69 Javelin. Oh my gosh, I had a buddy of mine had a 69 Javelin, whopped that into an oak tree. Had that big fastback glass in it like a Ford Torino. Yeah, I was going to say Nikki had a 68 Cuda. They had those big back windows in there. Barrett versus Hobb case, 12/2/22. 11:30 goes before the court. Aha. Yeah, Red's doing a certify or go to jail video, I think, or maybe that's one he already taped. I don't know. Let's see. Yes, deep state and elites are going after Elon. They're the first way they tried to do that. Alarm one. The first way they tried to do that was the SEC chief that I talked about before. I talked about in a couple of different broadcasts. He threatened to investigate Elon Musk when he was buying Twitter. And I had his name written down in my notes, but that's their first shot at Gary Gensler. And then it gets discovered that his daughter is in charge of SEC investigations and that he is also tied up with FTX. So then the heat got taken off from the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission. So their leg breakers, their operatives that they would usually use to trip somebody up are being exposed. And this is all on purpose. And Apple backed down from taking Twitter down. And that was after a private meeting with Elon Musk and whatever the bonehead in charge of Apple, the Apple Store is, whatever his name is, he folded like a church chair. So God knows what Elon Musk went in there and told him. If you take Twitter down, what fun and games you might run into. Yeah, Tennessee, I see what you're saying. The Bitcoin millionaires, helicopter crashes, who knows what else. That's right, 3 of them in a very short period of time. So this character, I forget his name, that kid that's with FTX. He's hiding out he doesn't want to go anywhere because what are you going to be, another plane crash? Like Putin said, 75% of plane crashes in the U.S. are targeted. And one of those 3 millionaires you're talking about, Bitcoin people, was a helicopter crash. He was the second one. This last one, I'm not sure what happened to him, but he's no longer with us. Robin, you had a push button Valiant. Boy, those were nice little cars, weren't they? That probably had a 325 Plymouth Valiant. And Chrysler was big on those push buttons. Elon and Apple met. Elon won. Something to do with stocks. Yep. Well, a lot of those Valiants and Dodge Swingers and Dodge Darts had some of them had 440 Chryslers in them. I had a boat with 2 440 Chryslers in them, Chrysler Marine engines. Let's see. He died in his sleep. Poppy Two Bears, the last millionaire, Bitcoin millionaire. One was a helicopter. One died in his sleep. I don't know how the other one does. 3 of them corked off. So let me see. 37 years old. Well, slant six. Oh, okay. You had a little slant six in there. Those motors were indestructible, Robin. They put slant sixes in their Dodge vans too. Ha ha. Lori said she had a 70 Dodge Dart with and then we don't know. You got to put it back in the chats. We want to know what kind of engine you had. Ouchie is very quiet in court. Was confronted with the book by Robert Kennedy, Dr. Ouchie. $383. I had a boat with two 383s in it. I had a 75 32-foot Trojan cabin cruiser with a flybridge on it. Had twin 383s on it. Twin 383s. And then they got swapped out for twins 360s. So I know a little bit about that stuff. Yeah, that's right, Robin. They were simple cars, and they were a pleasure to drive. 472, big block, GM. We're going down memory lane with the vehicles. Boy, those were the days. Those were the days when you could actually be a shade tree mechanic. Oh, yes. Hit the thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. This channel is viewer supported and creator supported only. I have a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description if anybody cares to help an old man out. Thank you for reminding me, Nikki. It's only, at least I didn't go a whole hour before I thought of it. I should have thought about it a half hour ago. Anyway. Yeah, I wish I had every car I used to have. But I tell you, you look at these, like this guy, Jack Smith. Jack Smith is the one who's supposed to be Robert Mueller 2.0, supposed to be investigating Trump as a special counsel. You look at pictures of him now and pictures of him even 5 years ago. He's got that angry, haggard look that liberals get. They're just angry all the time. They're haggard. You know, they look like they're just been rode hard, put away, wet, and they're mad at life. But you see a side-by-side photo of that creepo, and you can see that he's got some problems. I mean, he's not at peace with himself. I can tell you that. He don't want anybody else to be at peace either. Donna, somebody's boat's bigger than mine. Who had a bigger than a 32? Anyway. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Ha ha ha. He's got a 36. 36. Subaru woman, they served me well. Yeah, Subaru's tough little cars. I got some friends got Subarus, swear by them. John had 269 Chevelles, 396 back in the day. So he's still sore from them. All right. So anyway, I don't know when things are going to happen. I know that Iran announced that they had a hypersonic ballistic missile. Did you all hear that? Nobody's reporting on it. This was announced over a week ago. Everybody's talking about Russia having this hypersonic ballistic missile. They could hit the U.S. in minutes with a nuclear weapon, and it's a horrible thing that Putin has, and all this. Well, here's Iran, who wants to wipe countries off the face of the map. Israel being one of them, us being the other one. Then they announce they've got a hypersonic ballistic missile. Nobody bats an eye. But the Russians went to the UN and said, basically, the U.S. is pulling the strings in Ukraine, and that if they wanted to, if the U.S. wanted to, they could end the conflict with a snap of their fingers. That's what they said. And they said it before the world, and nobody's reporting on it, that Kiev will do whatever Washington says. And that this, as far as Putin is concerned, this is a proxy war between the United States and Russia, and well, the West in general. And these kind of things are momentous statements that are going to be going down in history, even though they don't even tell, our own media doesn't even tell us very serious and simple things that are being put out by nations that, as far as the media keeps saying, we could be at war with any day. So why don't they report on that? Yeah, Poppy Two Bears. Was that a Volkswagen, Robin? Pop-up camper? I tell you, those are popular things. Now, Mark Milley also let a little bit of a statement out again, saying that, oh, you did. Well, I tell you what, those are in demand. Let's see, what was I getting around to? Mark Milley, he said that we need to start thinking about peace talks. And Biden has contradicted him, said it's not the time, too early. So it's interesting that there are leaks coming out of the Pentagon that are promoting ending the Ukraine conflict, and Biden is resistant to it. In other words, he's in conflict with the television generals. I also, that clothing company, I guess you all have seen that video where they have little, in their advertising, they have a girl holding up a teddy bear that's dressed in some questionable outfit there. But everything they have in those pictures has meaning. And a lot of them, I haven't looked at, but a lot of them I have. And I saw a video that showed a piece of caution tape, a roll of caution tape that spelled the name of the company with two A's, BAAL. And there are other channels that say the name of that company. I call it Balenci Lady Gaga, that, all right, you guys get it. But we all know what BAAL stands for, two A's, Baal, also known as Moloch. Well, somebody went and did a translation of Latin for that name of that company. They didn't do, what do they call that? Decode and stuff. What do they call gematria? They didn't do any of that gematria stuff. They just went to the Latin language, and broke down the name. And guess what they came up with? Did anybody hear what the Latin translation of that name of that company is? The Balenci and Lady Gaga. Let me see if anybody got it in chats. It was something that was said by Alistair Cook all the time, and he is a early proponent of this. I could say satanic religion because we've got a satanic church that's been approved to operate in the U.S. Navy. And I've said it in other broadcasts. I apologize for those who've ever heard it, but they have a current lawsuit against the Roe v. Wade restrictions because they say it interferes with their ability to conduct rituals. So I don't feel bad saying that. So this Alistair Cook person was back in the 40s, 30s, a very early proponent of the Church of Satan. Alistair Crowley, right. We'd seen that creepy looking thing. You're right, Lori. I'm seeing if the translation got, well, what he used to say was, do what you want. In other words, what's been said many times, do as thou will. Do as you will. No regard for God, no regard for the Bible, no regard for self-control. Do whatever you want. That is the saying for the Church of Satan, according to sources that I heard. But that's the Latin translation of that clothing company. And other people have done analysis of this Trump visit by Kanye or Ye. And pretty much the consensus is if Ye had gone by himself to see Trump and they had a conversation, nobody would have paid attention to it. Now, the only question is, did Ye purposefully try to set Trump up to make him look bad, which will fail? Or was it done on purpose for the media to keep Ye in the spotlight because he has put out a rap song and started a hashtag burn Balenci Lady Gaga, okay? And in a music video, they're holding up different articles of clothing and shoes and burning them and rapping, and they're bringing up issues I can't repeat on this platform. But they're laying it out about the island, about the people involved, about what they do, about trafficking, all in this rap video, which is spreading around in the younger communities like crazy. So it was, if he tried to set Trump up, okay. I don't think so. I think what he did was he got himself some free advertising, and it is exposing this network of people. And the pictures, as I said last night before my phone went crazy on me, that the top trending thing on Google yesterday was the island. The person that no longer wanted to live. Yeah, Crowley was a freaky looking mess. Tractor Supply. What's going on in Tractor Supply, Sharon? I go in there sometimes, gets oddball stuff. I want to get me some chickens. Veritas on YouTube. Yeah, there are a lot of channels get away with stuff I can't get away with. The times I got taken down on my main channel, I reviewed my channels for what I was accused of, and I just didn't see it. But I did say names and things that are controversial, or my opinion on encouraging young people to do certain things to their bodies, not in a combative way, not in any way saying that anybody that believes in that should be injured or anything like that. But that's, I believe, what got me taken down. There's two volcanoes erupting in Hawaii now, biblical. Yeah, check that out. Tractor Supply in southern states. AJ dressed up in black outfit. Philo. Mr. Bobcat. Yes, right. BAAL. I'm just going through the chats. Don't want to miss too much. Tractor Supply is hosting what? Nikki, why did you say that? That's not true. What, they got little chickens running around with purple hair and dresses on? Every time I've been Tractor Supply, I was looking for peeps and parts for my stove chimney and stuff like that. I didn't see any of that going on. Their banner was up, Lori H says, and you have got to be kidding me. In Waco, Texas, Sharon says, a drag dance and parents let little kids give dollars to the dancer. My God. Boy. They come around this territory, they're liable to be, yeah, they won't get dollars. I'll put it that way. So, I'm just going through and see if I missed anything in my notes. Bobcat says it's true. They started a sponsorship of reading. Well, that does it for me. I'll go to southern states then. I don't need to go to Tractor Supply. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call my local Tractor Supply and tell them it was nice knowing y'all, but you ain't gonna see me in there no more. Rural King is a good place to go to. I doubt very seriously you'd see anything like that in a Rural King. Of course, I'm stunned by Tractor Supply. But it could be like I was saying about the McDonald's. It could be a person has bought that franchise name, Tractor Supply. So the thing to do would be to call the corporate office. The corporate office, like if you own a Burger King or McDonald's, you have to be at certain standards of behavior, or you can lose your franchise. They don't let people mess around with company reputation. So I would encourage people who see that sort of thing at a Tractor Supply, get that location of that store, and you call corporate headquarters. You want the corporate number for Tractor Supply customer service. Let's see. That's right, Nikki. They got a total line. Yeah, single store, not all stores involved. I'd turn them in. I'd call up and I'd say I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. I felt this was a safe place to take my family. And you can bet that the people that were there giving them dollars were setups. They had no more interest in going to Tractor Supply than the man on the damn moon. They were told ahead of time to be there and to bring their kids or somebody else's kids and hand out dollars. I guarantee you they didn't go in Tractor Supply to do anything. Because what does Tractor Supply sell? Stuff you need to get work done. And these people typically don't work. So I would definitely call that. That was a setup. And they need to find out who's behind that and get rid of them. Boy, that makes me where it's too far back in the chat. Somebody tell me where that Tractor Supply was. I'm gonna call corporate over that. If you know where that store was, could you please put it in the chats, because I'm gonna call Tractor Supply Monday morning. And I'll wait and see if that comes up in the chats. I guarantee you that was a setup, where the people that showed up and was handing out that money were not normal, usual Tractor Supply customers. They came there specifically for that event. And you want to start changing the culture, you go to a rural business where typically you have traditional families go, and that's where you infiltrate. Waco, Texas. Boy, ain't that something. Waco, Texas Tractor Supply. Okay, I see. Anybody hear of any other locations that was done? If it's more than one, they got a problem. It was somewhere, Lori H says, I don't think it was at the store. My understanding was somewhere off site, but they were flying their TS banner there. Therefore, they were paying for advertising there. Oh. Was it happening within sight of the store? Do you know? Waco is a small town. There can't be more than one Tractor Supply there. So Ted Nugent brought that Tractor Supply story up on YouTube. Reba. Oh my gosh, Sharon, I see what you're saying there. A 9-year-old. Okay. I tell you, these people need. I'm on the device I was going to refer to for other topics I want to talk to, so I can't go to the topics I want to talk about. But I will say this. I will do an experimental broadcast where I can see whether or not, if I go to another screen on this device, if you can still hear me. I'll do that in the future. I won't do it now because I already screwed up last night's broadcast. But anyway, there was a story that's in here that I can't access now since I had to switch devices. There's a YouTube video about someone who is complaining that their new plumbing, it is a man that decided to be a woman, got their new plumbing, and that it's malfunctioning. Okay, they can't go to the can, right, and have to go for more surgeries, and they're mad at their so-called doctor. This is a man with long hair that no longer has his plumbing. He's got different surgically implanted or constructed that having trouble cutting on and off. But anyway, I was going to refer to that story and let you all know where, if you want to make yourself sick, you go watch the video. But this stuff is going to be happening more and more. Let's see. Ted Nugent. Okay. Well, I'll call at least about that one. I'm gonna say, look, it's getting around, and I don't want to boycott my local Tractor Supply, but I will if this kind of stuff keeps up. I don't want to be seen in a place that associates with that. I'm at a point where let's start worrying about what offends me, okay? Not what offends everybody else. What offends me is going to be the most important thing from now on. Well, I wish I could pull that video up, but well, maybe the next show I don't know. I'll do a test broadcast where I migrate to another screen and see if the broadcast still works, and I can come back to here. I could probably do that on a private broadcast. I don't know. That's right, Donna. There aren't that many people with gender identity issues. It's all peer pressure. And this question right here, where are the parents? I think there is a very small percentage of parents and so-called doctors that need to be, as Trump says, looked at very strongly. With existing laws that are being broken, but they're getting away with it because of political correctness and the media supporting their views, but their views are unlawful. Their actions are unlawful. You don't do that to people who are not of the age of consent. In the video that I did the other night on my other channel, that man says, and the title begins with, in their own words. You see a young girl talking about what she went through when she was a minor. And everybody involved with her particular case, in any case like hers, need to be prosecuted for abuse, okay? This isn't a thing where you got to pass new regulation and rules and this and that. No. Whoever induced someone who was had not reached the age of consent into mutilating their body chemically or surgically should be prosecuted. And the doctor that performed it or gave the prescription should be prosecuted. Yeah, Sharon. I've seen those videos. And that's right, Lori. You don't want them going to college. They're not colleges. They're indoctrination centers, especially the high-end ones now. They've been infiltrated by the Marxists, and all they do is indoctrinate our youth and try to get them government jobs, to infiltrate our government, to do exactly what they're doing right now, coordinate to remove a duly elected president and install the communist philosophy into our system. And they're using prosecutors to do it. That's why the Soros money, there was a big story in Fox News about how many prosecutors around the country had accepted Soros money. And the stories I talked about Nixon, about Rick Perry, where these prosecutors are waging lawfare to remove politicians they don't agree with. And that stuff is all going to be looked into. So anyway, I've gone over an hour, folks. And I don't know from night to night if I'm going to come on or what I'm going to do. I got to figure out what to do about this device situation. I can't refer to notes. I do say have a pen and paper, and I have in the past, my early subscribers have heard me say, don't put all your thoughts into these little plastic toys. Don't use this little plastic toy in place of your brain. Have a pencil. Here it is. Can you hear it? It's my pencil. And here's my paper. Hear it? And I write down notes, because what it says in the Constitution is that you are to be secure in your papers and effects. Okay? Doesn't say anything about a plastic toy. All right? And the battery goes out. This notepad doesn't run on batteries. Okay? There's no batteries in it. The screen can't go black. All right? It's in my hands. And if somebody wants to take this from me, they have to have a warrant. All right? And nobody can erase it in the middle of the night, or I'm sitting there looking at it. And I don't, if the battery goes dead in the phone, I'm screwed, but I can always flip these pages back to where I took my notes. Okay. So some of my topics are buried in this little plastic toy, and I can't get to it because my other little plastic toy acted up because I think I said something about Huawei and ZTE. And now my ZTE phone started acting up right after I said something about it. I'm sorry, ZTE. Will you please start working right now? I doubt that will work. But anyway, folks, I appreciate y'all spending time with me. And I hope to see you soon. I will be posting soon. And hopefully we'll have some good news. I do want people to know, though, that I personally think we are going to go through a process. We're going to go through the change of Congress. I would not expect for the government to be removed the way we all, from January 20th on, have been thinking. Wouldn't it be wonderful? And if it did happen tomorrow, I'd be walking on air. And I don't think that the White Hats are going to let anybody know what they might do and might not do. They know what the numbers are. They know how many people in society are waking up. And this business with this clothing company and what is going to be coming out from Miss Maxwell, there are going to be names dropped about this Maxwell situation. And it's going to coincide with more information being dropped, not only about this clothing company, but other companies are going to be coming to light, like the cabinet thing. One word is way, and the other word is fair. We're going to hear about that again. So I think this production is going to go on for a number of months. And when the hammer drops, the more people that know why it's dropping, the better off this country will be. So that's where I want to leave it with you all. And I appreciate you all. And I hope you all have a great evening and reduce that stress. Know that we're on the right path. Take care of yourselves so you and I, all of us, can walk through history together. Okay, guys? All right. You all have a great night. And this is Mountain Man over and out.